This is AP Statistics Chapter 5, Simulating Experiments, and in this video we're going to discuss the last part of Chapter 5, which is simulation. And so what is a simulation? A simulation is an imitation of chance behavior based on a model of the experiment. And usually when you're going to perform a simulation is when an experiment is too expensive. So sometimes for studies, if you have to have a large sample size or you're trying to grasp what will happen in a situation, it's really expensive to pay volunteers. And so sometimes companies will just do a simulation to see what are the chances of each effect. There's 5 steps to performing a simulation. And so I'm just going to do an example. So step 1 is state the problem. So let's say a couple plans to have a girl or 5 children, whichever comes first, and they want to know, say they really want to have a girl, what's the likelihood that they will have a girl? And so this is our problem. So it's going to be either they have a girl or they have 5 children. And so we're going to state the assumptions. And so the probability of having a girl is 0.5, and the probability of having a boy is 0.5, because you can either have a boy or a girl. It's completely random and due to chance. Sometimes they'll throw in kind of like a trick question on tests for probability, is like if a couple has 3 boys, what's the probability that their next child will be a boy or a girl? And the answer is always going to be 0.5. It doesn't have to do, because the births are independent, it doesn't matter how many children you have before. And so now what we're going to do is we're going to assign digits to represent outcomes. So for example, having a boy and having a girl are equal. So we could do numbers 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So let's say this is a boy, 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 boy. And this is girl, 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 boy. So numbers 0 through 4 are going to represent a boy, and numbers 5 through 9 are going to represent a girl. And also, it's a good thing to do on a test or even on the AP when you're showing your work, is you're going to want to say, like, G will represent girl, and B will represent boy. And this is just a good thing. It makes your teachers like you, just so that when you show your work, they can easily follow along with what you're doing. And so it's not confusing for them, and so they're not going to subtract points. And so basically now that we have these digits, we can just use random numbers to simulate repetitions. And so one way you can find numbers for this is that in your AP packet sheet, there's going to be a long list of numbers, and this is basically just the AP gives you this so that when you have to do simulations, you can use the different numbers. And then also on your TI-84, there's going to be a random digit generator, and so you can just do random digits like 0 to 10 or 0 to 9, and you can just come up with those. So I'm just going to use these random digits. And so we look at the first. So the first number is a 5, so girl. And let's say we're going to do 5 simulations of this experiment. So the first one's a girl. This one is a 3, which is a boy. So when we move on to the next one, this is a girl. So basically what I'm doing is it's either 5 children or a girl, whichever comes first. So girl. This one is boy, and then it's a girl. This is a girl, boy, and then girl, boy. And then this is, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we use the random number digit generator to calculate, and so we had a girl in all 5 of our simulations or and so now we're going to do is step 5 is we're going to simulate we're going to state our conclusions. And so number of simulations with success is 5, number of simulations 5. So basically just say when a couple has 5 children or a girl, like whichever comes first, our simulation found that the probability of having a girl is 1. And so make sure you say that, this is a simulation, it's not fact, because in some cases, depending on what random numbers are given, there could be a different chance of having a boy or a girl, and so it's not going to be 100% that they do have a girl. They could have a bunch of children and have only boys. And so this is just your basic simulation and how to do this when you're on a quiz or a test or even the AP.